Straight ahead on the show, Jason and I have got some breaking news that we're excited to share. Plus, we're going to recap Rombauer's upset win from last week in the Preakness Stakes. We're going to look at some of the greatest stakes action this weekend coming your way from Churchill Downs and Santa Anita. Then the boys are back to talk a huge Triple Crown race from Japan. And of course, we've got that $25 ready to spend as we are back with another edition of the Bet Battle. We've got plenty. So come and join us as we go racing around the world right now. Yes, sir. It is Chad Rosemond, Jason Portuondo coming to you from our remote locations. And hopefully, Jason, soon you and I will be doing this perhaps from more familiar locations, ones we want to get back to, and that is Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park, because some exciting news yesterday. I know not concrete, but I'm going to say concrete enough. It looks like we have finally got a goal to set our sights on to resume racing for both our harness and thoroughbred action.
Many will say not quick enough. I get it, but hey, beats the alternative, right? At least we have a target in mind, as you mentioned. And June 14th, harness action back at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We really appreciate all the concern and the support from our friends south of the 49th that have been, asking through various social media platforms, when are you guys back? When are you guys back? So we have an answer. June 14th for harness, June 18th, start of the 2021 thoroughbred season at Woodbine. Might happen earlier than that, but at least we're hoping it won't happen any later than those dates.
Right, and we're going to be prepared if, in fact, the government and the province and the population hits their targets even sooner, and we get the okay to go sooner. We'll be ready for that. But right now, it's that Monday, June 14th. We're going to go right into 5 days a week with the harness, and then you're going to start on the Friday with the T-Breads on that 18th. But then the following week, I believe you go 4 days, Thursday through Sunday, correct?
Yeah. Yep, and that'll be the regular rotation of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, unless, we toss in some holiday action, then we amend things. But, hey, as we said before, every day we get up, we're 1 day closer. Now we got dates. So, let's go.
Yes, let's go is right. Well, that's the great news. We've got more great stuff coming up here on the program. But before we get to that, let's recap some huge stakes action from both the thoroughbred and harness side from last weekend.
Rombauer is rolling up to them, coming by the 8th pole. It is now Rombauer storming to the front, taking over from Midnight Bourbon. Medina Spirit has dropped back. Keep Me in Mind is 4th. Rombauer and Flavien Prat win the Preakness, pulling away by 4 on the wire. And it's Guardian Angel on the outside. Manchego is gigantic so far. Majestic Player on the outside has a clear shot. It's Guardian Angel. Manchego, big effort. Majestic Player on the outside. Manchego inching in on Guardian Angel with Majestic Player on the outside. Manchego, Majestic Player, Manchego and Majestic Player together in a tight photo. Guardian Angel was 3rd. Photo for win in 1:51 and 1 in a thrilling
couple of fantastic performances last weekend. We'll start with that second jewel, Jason, of the U.S. Triple Crown. Rombauer, despite being 12-1, you and I were both kind of reading and hearing through social, quite a few people saying that last race, in the bluegrass was sneaky good, and he's a live long shot. Well, man, oh man, he didn't look like a 12-1 shot winning.
Had him as the wild card, and very similar to my projection of the Kentucky Derby. I was right about the favorite not winning. I just didn't have the right upset prospect. And Rombauer, perfect trip. Great ride by Flavien Prat, who now officially, Chad, gets a Triple Crown win because Country House was the DQ, as we all know. And how about Mike McCarthy? First ever try at a Triple Crown race, gets his first Preakness. Todd Pletcher, 0 for 10 in that race. And Todd Pletcher, his former boss, that's who he learned under. So 1 for the small guys, and great stuff there for the California-based trainer, Mike McCarthy. And Rombauer, I guess now we toss that one into the mix as one of the 3-year-olds to watch, Chad. And we know this, no Triple Crown winner still justify the man from 2018.
Yeah, and Flavian might be going Hot Rod Charlie in the Belmont. We'll see.
Yes.
That field we'll know more about in the near future, so a couple of weeks away from that final jewel. But, when you talk McCarthy and Pletcher, it makes me think, too, of Nancy Tactor and her father, Jimmy, because Jimmy never won that Pepsi North America Cup. Well, then she did it in her first try, and then went on to win another one, of course, as we know last year with Tall Dark Stranger. Well, how about her charge Manchego? She was honest with me and said she could be a little bit short. Well, I still thought I'll take a shot on her. What a performance from her in that Cutler.
Little redemption from last year, right? When she just got nosed out by Atlanta. That was a great mare battle in that affair. And I always thought, Chad, Wonder Woman had 2 feet. Apparently Wonder Woman's got 4 feet, because not only the long layoff, that type of strenuous trip, she just gutted it out. She just simply wanted it more than her rivals. And make no mistake, she's not going into that next career anytime soon, when we're still seeing efforts like that from her on the racetrack. So yeah, great stuff there for Nancy and team with Manchego.
I'm so glad that they decided to bring her back to the track. We like to see her there. All right, speaking of the track, what tracks can you catch through HPI Bet? Well, lots. We always have a full slate kicking off here. Hard to get some of that mixed in throughout the day, but of course, thoroughbred heavy typically in the afternoon hours. The Meadowlands has got more sire stakes coming up tonight, and our boys, I'm assuming, are going to be heading their way back here very soon. So looking forward to that. Century Mile, Jason, out west, the thoroughbred side of it. It was a few days delayed, but they finally get their meet underway here on Friday.
Can't wait. And the thing of beauty, we've waited so long to get these Canadian tracks back on this schedule. It's happening, and it's going to happen really fast, and then the action is just going to be fast and furious. I saw Kura as well as part of the schedule, so hey, it's a thing of beauty. My favorite part of the show is watching, just the 72-hour schedule and seeing so many tracks here on this schedule. Tons and tons of action on HPI Bet.
Can't wait till that schedule says Woodbine Mohawk Park and Woodbine in Rexdale. What to watch for this weekend? You know what? Not a huge stakes weekend, but we know that's going to pick up. Still some good ones to play along there at Belmont, and we'll be talking Churchill down Santa Anita, a pair of graded stakes. The Meadowlands has got the Graduate kicking off for the 4-year-old trotters, a pair of divisions of that. And then the biggest one of the weekend, nearly 2.3 million US. It's the second leg of that Japanese fillies Triple Crown. Sodashi, Jason, headlining that big field, the undefeated Sodashi.
A beautiful specimen to look at. And of course, the boys will chime in a little bit later on with their thoughts. And yeah, JRA, we've seen so many positive things happening for HPI Bet becoming the new North American hub for the Japanese Racing Association. Yeah. So there is a lot going on, and as it should be, right? We're going to blink and June's going to be here.
Yeah, and we're waiting for it. I don't know how patient I am, but we'll get there. Let's get into Churchill Downs. Right. Saturday, they have got the winning colors. Grade 3. It is a 6-furlong sprint. Short field. Our stakes races this weekend that we're talking about, a lot of them are just short fields, but still some good-looking talent in here. To me, Jason, on paper, it looks like a 2-horse race with Frank's Rockette and Sconsin, and the morning line odds reflect that 6-5 and 8-5, respectfully.
Yeah, I agree. Bayerness, the 5-horse intrigues me a little bit. Just taking another shot back with the big gals, if you will. You spoke of this being a 2-horse race. 2016, we had a dead heat in this race. I don't know if we get that again coming up on the weekend, but yeah, Frank's Rockette and Sconsin look to be leaps and bounds ahead of this field. Frank's Rockette has never missed the exacta in her career outside of one race, and that was against the boys and the Breeders' Cup Sprint, so she's obviously a solid one. Might get the jump on Sconsin, but we're going to find out. Sconsin, for me, only question mark the distance. We're going to look back at her most recent effort. That was in the Derby City Distaff, Chad, and that was going 7/8. She's been going 7/8 so many times. You can't miss her with the big white face. She's tackling the bear named Gamine on this occasion, and 2 of her last 3 defeats have been to Gamine. Will not have to worry about that. It's a bit of a quick comeback. So this race was on Derby Day, May the 1st, and obviously we're looking at now May 22nd, so 3 weeks in between starts. She's got an affinity for Churchill. And in this race, she gave Gamine a good run all the way to the finish. She got a solid interim breeze as well to enjoy. So SCONSIN for me, the only question is, I don't know, Chad, if she wants to go 3/4. She's going to have to stay close because I really feel like Frank's Rockette has the speed edge on her and might get away.
Yeah, and Gaff Leone taking over. One thing that stands out with her, she's such a great worker, right? She was working so well into, kicking off the season. Then she's come back already since that last race with a great half-mile work as well. But I'm with you. I think the distance is, maybe the biggest challenge for her aside from Frank's Rockette. But as far as SCONSIN at 8-5, if you back her, which I believe you are, what are you expecting to see on the odds board?
How about that, actually? Okay. Maybe even 2-1, because I think Frank's Rockette, you throw in the connections, Billy Mott, Florent Giroux, that's just going to entice, bettors to go in that direction and add to the already attractiveness of that 4-year-old filly's profile. So SCONSIN for me, the distance again bothers me with the cutback. She's going to have to be a little bit closer, and she might get just, kind of outrun early by Frank's Rockette. That could be the difference maker, but I'm going to go SCONSIN. And hopefully she can stay close enough to pull off a little bit of a surprise. She'll be my top pick in Saturday's 5th race under the Twin Spires.
I considered, but as mentioned, the distance sort of swayed me. And you know what? I'm going to go Giroux, sticking aboard Frank's Rockette here. 2 for 2 at Churchill. You talked about, how well she's done just hitting the exacta. Well, that goes with the distance as well. 7 times she's tried this distance. She's a specialist. She's won 4 times. She's a graded stakes winner. Frank's Rockette from an inside post. Again, I think that's the only one she has to worry about is your pick, but I think she's going to manage to do that going 3/4 of a mile. So for me, it's Frank's Rockette, and I'm going to just suck it up and take the short price. And that's kind of going to be the theme of my picks this weekend, Jason. Sometimes we do that when, unfortunately, we've got the short fields, and that just seems to be the theme, at least on the thoroughbred side for our stakes, that we're going to look at. So with that being said, that's Churchill. Let's get into Santa Anita's. We head to the West Coast. They play host to a pair of graded stakes on Saturday. First up early in the program is race number 2, mile and a 16th. It's the Grade 2 Santa Maria for fillies and mares, 3 and up. $200,000. They're all going to get good paydays, but one's going to get the big one. Only 4 of them in here. Last First Kiss was actually scratched early, so we've got 4 horses. And Jason, a lot of times when you see a horse at 6-5 in the morning line, you say, okay, yeah, there's the clear favorite. No, not the case in here. CC is 6-5, but as time goes by, 2-5, she might even be lower than that come post time.
A lot lower, because there's actually an opportunity here for Mike McCarthy with CC to scratch. He might wait for the Ogden Phipps at Belmont Park. I do believe Belmont Stakes weekend. And if that's the case, now we're looking at a 3-horse field. We're looking at basically a walkover. But unlike the last race where I really feel like Byroness could be, the wild card if you don't like Frank's Rockette or SCONSIN, here I don't find there to be a wild card. So it's going to be, as time goes by, head-to-head, hopefully with CC. And it kind of feels like we're missing, the big heavy hitters. There's no Monomoy Girl. There's no Swiss Skydiver. Even no Latruska, if you will. So I'm hoping CC stays. Let's look back at that last race for her. I think it's the perfect primer for the weekend showdown with as time goes by, if she shows up. Apparently Mike McCarthy, by the way, Saturday morning will make that decision. But CC is the lone Grade 1 winner in the field, and she followed this type of pattern last year. A sprint win, and then that sort of propelled her to back-to-back Grade 1 wins in the Beholder and the Apple Blossom. You see here, Victor Espinoza, never in doubt, just waited for some room, got it, and just rolls to victory. Now she's going to go a mile and a 16th. Again, if she stays, I think she's got a big-time shot. I think she, right now is a little bit more proven than as time goes by, who I think is a really nice horse. And I said to you after her most recent win in the Santa Margarita, I think she'll, beat some of the bigger girls a little bit later on, like Monomoy Girl, who right now has got her own issues off the track, and Swiss Skydiver, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, as for me, Chad, CC's my top pick. Again, I think that they're leaning more towards the Ogden Phipps, and if that's the case, this is a complete walkover for Baffert, who, by the way, with a win in this race, will join Charlie Whittingham, the Bald Eagle, and Ron McAnally with 5 wins in this race, and that would be tough. So, and Baffert won it last year as well, right? Fighting Mad, I do believe, was the horse's name.
As time goes by for me, and yeah, it's just, again, going to be a short price. So, build multi-leg tickets around her would be just my suggestion. She made it look easy in the Grade 2 Santa Margarita. She looks like a star in the making. That was a 1:08. This is a 1:16. I'm sure she's going to control it early. Even if Cece's in here, of course, because that one would probably like to just try and track her. But as time goes by, seems to have such a high cruising speed, and I think she just pours it on late. Nobody's going to pressure her, I don't think, to put up any kind of quick fractions. And even if she did, I'm not sure that's going to matter. So I do like her. For your horse, though, Jason, Cece, regardless of where she goes, that last race, I was impressed as well. And if that, sparks, efforts like she did last year, as you mentioned, following that same path, she could make some noise in some of those big races coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Mike McCarthy, hey, good to see, smaller outfits have success as well. Not just about the Bafferts and the Pletchers and the Chad Browns, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, Cece's a really nice one, regardless of where she goes. I'm just hoping she stays here because it makes for a better race. Without her, this race basically doesn't exist.
Although a field of 7 lining up for the second graded stakes at Santa Anita on Saturday, it's race number 7 on the turf, 1:08, grade 3 honeymoon. I say grade through. I don't even know what that is. 3-year-old
That's a 3
fillies.
and a 2 together. I say that all the time.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, see, I'm a trend setter is what I am here, Porty.
Here you go.
You have got Going Global, morning line favorite at 6-5, who is undefeated since coming here to North America, and all 3 wins coming at Santa Anita on the turf. Tough not to like her, but I believe you and I are both trying to beat her. But what have you seen from this one so far?
Going Global has been impressive. We've seen Phil D'Amato have a lot of success with anything comes out of his shed robot, especially horses that have come across the pond for the first time. You talked about this one being perfect in California. Madone, same thing, perfect in California. In fact, these right now are the top 2 turf sophomore fillies. And you know what? Got to give them their due. They've never met before. People want to say it's a 2-horse race. I agree. It basically is a 2-horse race, but you know me. I'm always trying to find some value if there's value to be had. And I think we can find that, Chad, in QUATTROELLE. Go back to her last race. You're also going to find Going Global in this race. It's the Providencia, early April. So with the red cap there, that's QUATTROELLE. Doesn't exactly get the best trip. There is the winner right there in the white. That is Going Global. You can see right there, in a bit tight, there was Tyler Bays with the Jeff Mullins trainee and just trying to straighten her out. I'm not saying that's why she didn't win on this occasion, because Going Global is, a healthy winner here, but had to fight for it. Closing remarks, battles back in gamely down on the inside. There's a neck deciding the 2 when they hit the stripe. But for me, QUATTROELLE, I'm basing my pick on one thing and one thing only, Chad. I'm going to go QUATTROELLE on top. Blinkers on for the first time. Jeff Mullins, he's batting nearly 40% with an over $3 ROI with that type of move. I'm just hoping it's what this filly needs to just take her to that next level. Her couple races this year as a 3-year-old just kind of, not really moving the needle. Blinkers on could make a big difference. I know that Tyler Bays does a lot of riding for this barn. He's a 6 for 29 at the meet. Not the greatest in number, but it's okay enough. She likes Santa Anita, but for me, it's all about blinkers on. I'm going to ride that, and hopefully I can upstage the more likely pair in here of Going Global and Madone. Right about you.
Not to mention a near 30% jockey trainer combination there too with Bays and Mullins. Yeah. And you know what? I think you're going to get a 5-1 price. I think that's what you're going to see, because a lot of attention is going to be on Going Global and Madone. And I'm going to try Madone in here. You know what? This is one that's going to have to pick up the figures, to match Going Global. But I really feel like she's going to be up to the challenge. She was able to win her first start of the year. She loves to run on. Every race she's been in has been at a mile. Stretching out, I'm not concerned at all. She is bred to go long, and 1 1/8 miles for her, I think, is going to be just even better. I think that will allow her. And even that last start, Jason, she had a stumbled beginning. She looks big. She's got a big stride on her. And she still had to regroup, and then she just looks like the longer she can run, the better she will be. So Madone for me, and QUATTROELLE for you, as we both try to end that perfect record in North America by Going Global.
Yeah, your horse, only blemish on her resume was the Breeders' Cup. So obviously the elite of the elite. So you're back on 3 weeks rest. And those two are the two. I'm just going to try number 2 just for a bit of a surprise. We'll see.
Yeah, I think, those 3 graded stakes combined don't equal the amount of starters that are going to be in the second jewel of the Japanese Fillies Triple Crown. That being the Japanese Oaks. They've got a huge field headlined by that undefeated, beautiful-looking filly, Sodashi. And the boys are back to break it down for us. Our resident Japan Racing Association fellas, we've got Robert Reed Jr. and Klaus Ebner.
Thanks very much, Chad. Well, Rob, last week we had the fillies and mares on display in the Victoria Mile. This week we're going 1.5 miles. It is the Oaks and the return of the unicorn, Sodashi.
And is there any question where I'm going, Klaus? The pure white sparkling filly right out of a fairy tale and onto the racetrack. The darling of racing in Japan. She should be the darling of racing around the world. Of course, I'm speaking about Sodashi, 5 for 5 in her career. Approaching super horse status for me. Big test, though, stretching out from 1 mile to 1.5 miles. But I think she will pass it with flying colors and get the job done on Saturday night. But she'll be less than even money. So we can't bet her to win. I'll be singling her in my multi-leg wagers and putting her on top of the exotics. The horse I'm using with her is Cool Cat. This is a big, strong filly built for stamina and endurance. She gets better every time she steps on the racetrack, especially when she stretches out. She went 1.25 miles last time and was victorious. I think she'll like the additional 2 furlongs and run the race of her career on Saturday night. I'll be using her underneath my darling Sodashi. But Klaus, I need to ask you, do you believe in unicorns?
The fairy tale ends on Saturday, Robin. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with a regally bred daughter of Deep Impact, and that being AKAITORINO MUSUME. This one being by Deep Impact again out of the stellar mare Apapane. A sharp closing 4th last time out to your Sodashi, but gets back to Tokyo. Some home cooking, 3 for 3, and I think this filly can get the job done on Saturday to upset Sodashi in the Oaks. And for my horse, I'm going to look at the underside for a bit of a price. We're going with Überleben. That translates to survivor in German. And sure enough, this horse should be closing late under Mirko de Miro at a big price. And I certainly think this one can upset some of the big favorites in here. So, Rob, we have a bit of a carryover in the high 5 on the big race.
Yeah, on the feature race, we have a carryover over $6,000 in the high 5. So Saturday night, save the date, stay up late, and go Sodashi.
There we go. Yeah. What other show are we talking? Unicorns and German? And oh, yeah. Those guys got you covered. We love it. So catch this on HPI Bet from Tokyo Racecourse. It's going to be huge and a great field. But again, just a lot of fun to watch horses like Sodashi. And don't forget about the great wagering opportunities with those low takeouts, 15%. Well, we're getting near the end of the show. What do we have left to do? Oh, that's right. We got to cue that music. There we go. Porty's got his Friday moves going, and we are ready for
Look at that bet battle smile.
Ring that bell.
I haven't had that smile in a while, let me tell you. Jeez.
Ring that bell. We didn't do so well in the 11th race at Pimlico last weekend. We tried. Mucho for me.
You had an excuse at least. Yeah, your horse didn't get a good trip. My horse, Lakai, had no excuse, but your horse did not get a good trip.
Yeah, I just missed 3rd, which would have at least netted me the try, but whatever. Anyway, we've got $25 back into the kitty that we're each going to, map out a ticket in the race that we're going to go with. The Meadowlands plays host to a pair of those graduate divisions for the 4-year-old trotters. We're going to go with the first of 2. I think they're both good divisions, but let's go with the first one, race number 5. It's the bigger of the 2 fields. 9 horses in here, Porty. We've got a couple of mares. We know, in these races, that doesn't matter. We've got so many talented, mares both on the trotting and pacing side. But Hypnotic AM, it didn't work out for you last time you tried her, but are you going to go back in her corner?
1,000%, because you know what? They weren't exactly, tough on her. It's kind of a welcome back mile for her most recently, that and the Miss Versatility. So when I saw her name in the entries, I didn't even look at anybody else in the field. I don't care if Manchego was back this week. It doesn't matter. Hypnotic AM for me on top, $20 to win. I got $5 left. Just gonna slam an exactor of 5 and 4. I think Hypnotic AM, it's academic. They get away 1-2, and hopefully I got the right scenario when they hit the line. And it's as easy as that for me. What about you?
If Manchego was in here, he says he'd be all over here. Okay,
Bring on
I'm gonna
Bridger.
go with the other.
I don't care.
I'm gonna go with the other mare, Abs Attitude Express from Post 2. You know what? It's Academic's been racing fantastic, but Abs Attitude Express is 3 for 3. She's 5 for 8 overall at the Meadowlands. She gets my boy Timmy T in the bike for young conditioner Lucas Wallen. I think this one can get the right trip, and I think she can drop enough time. I think they're going to go in 50 and change if the track is fast. So I've got her to win. I've got an exacta 2 over the 4 and 5. And then, you know what? If I'm just out to lunch, which I've been known to do, I'm just going to go with the other mare, yours, Hypnotic AM, over its Academic with $5. So I've got the same exacta as you in that other direction. So I've got some coverage, but it looks like the 2, 4, and 5 will be making the most noise in that first graduate.
And I know Manchego's not eligible. These are 4-year-old opens, right? So
yeah. But hey, some of these could meet up in some other big stakes races throughout the year, maybe even here in Canada, of course, with the Maple Leaf Trot, perhaps, or Armbro Flight. Who knows? But we'll see. That does it, buddy, for another one. Thanks.
All right.
For the
anytime.
ride. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and and enjoying this as well. Enjoy the races this weekend. Big shout out to Robert and Klaus again, and of course our producer Luke Van Belkom. For Jason Portuondo, I'm Chad Roseman saying enjoy the long weekend here in Canada, and counting down the days until we are back racing at Woodbine Entertainment. We will be back in a couple of weeks. Have a good one, buddy. Take care, everybody.
All right, you too, man. Take care.